So for more reaction, we now welcome Gil Dickman, cousin of Carmel Gat, one of the hostages held in captivity for nearly 9 months now. He joins us from Tel Aviv. Gil, thank you so much. We so appreciate your time today. Day 268 of this war. The nation's waiting for word on the hostages held in Gaza for nearly 9 months. You and your family still waiting for word on Carmel and all the hostages. So how are you feeling about these latest apparent efforts to secure a deal? It sounds like the deal is hanging by a thread.
That's right. We're very tense, I must say. We don't really know whether this means that the deal is on the way or not. We have learned that not to be too hopeful, but from what we're seeing, the ball is at Hamas's court. That's the reality as we perceive it right now. There is a deal on the table. Israel has put it, the US is behind it, Qatar is behind it, Egypt is behind it, and we're all waiting for the horrible terrorist Yahya Sinwar. And the world should know this, that Yahya Sinwar holds the keys to end this horrible tragedy, to get the hostages home, and right now he decides not to do that. The world should know this, and this is why we were so outraged by the fact that the Prime Minister of Israel just last week has interviewed about this issue and said that he might agree only to a partial deal or whatever. This, I think, is something that turns the world against Israel, and the world must know that we as Israelis are willing to do whatever it needs to get the hostages back. And if we don't, that means that we are in charge of the fact that they're still there. I think right now that the IDF understands that this part of the war is finished, and we have to do whatever we can to get the hostages back. The world should know that Israel is willing to do whatever it needs, and that Yahya Sinwar is to blame for the fact that we are still at war right now.
There's no doubt that the ball is in the court of Hamas right now. What then, though, do you make of reports that the US is changing the wording on the proposal to try to secure a ceasefire hostage deal? Does it give some glimmer of hope? Your thoughts?
I think that means that we are in a negotiation, and that's a good thing. That means that the US has heard what's important to Hamas and is trying to change the deal in a way that will make it easier for them to accept this offer. I hope that we get positive reaction from Hamas very, very soon. And positive reaction is not nearly enough. We are looking for a deal. And that would be the only way to get the hostages back. That would be the only way to put an end to this tragedy. I know that some people on many parts of the world dream that they can end this war without getting the hostages back. No way that this war would end without getting the hostages back. And I know that if we see the US is changing some of the wording, well, that means that there is a place for negotiation, and that means that we are seeing a path forward, and there is a path forward. We have to do whatever we can, and the Israeli government must do whatever it can so Hamas accepts this offer and we finally reach a deal. We've been waiting for way too long, and people feel like the government hasn't done enough yet because the hostages aren't here. I can't say, I must say, I can't say with all honesty that I understand that our government has done all that it could do to make sure that Hamas accept this offer. Right now, we have a chance, it might be the last chance, to do whatever is possible to make sure that Hamas accept this offer. If it takes a change in wording, do so. Just get them to accept this offer. We need to see our hostages. They're running out of time.
There's no doubt about it. Time is of the essence. Indeed. And Gil, we've seen these rallies across the country calling for a deal to be secure, to get all the hostages home, amongst other demands. We know emotions are obviously high. And we heard rescued hostage Andrei Kozlov talking about how it felt when he was in captivity and he saw footage of these protests. I'm getting goosebumps as I'm describing this to you, what it meant to him to see the outpouring of support. So what is your sense of the impact of these rallies, knowing that Carmel potentially could be seeing footage of these rallies in real time too?
Yeah, Andre was telling about Almog Meir Jan, who was a hostage right near him, who saw a picture of himself being held in a rally or in a protest. And that means the world. This is exactly what we're doing it for. You know, I know from Carmel's sister-in-law, Yarden Roman, who was also held hostage. She told us when she came back that she heard my voice on the radio and that she knew that we were trying our best and fighting to get her back because she heard us. And she knew that there is a hostages square. She knew that there are protests and rallies and that people are praying to get her back. Sending these messages across the unbelievable border and to the darkest places in the tunnels in which Hamas is holding the hostages. It's the most important thing for us. That means that we're doing something, that we are giving hope to the hostages wherever they may be, that we're fighting for them. And it also gives me goosebumps to know that whenever we are on air, whenever we're talking, whenever we're holding pictures, like the picture I'm holding right now, the picture of Carmel, the fact that she could actually see this and understand that we're fighting for her, that means the world. And it should mean the world to you too, because if you come to the rallies, to the protests, if you pray, if you hold the pictures of the hostages and they might be able to see you, that means that you are giving them hope and you are giving them strength, the strength they need to go through another day in these horrible places. And whenever you do such a thing, you get the day in which they will come back to us one day closer. That means a lot, and that means that you have to keep on coming, to keep on protesting, to keep on rallying to get the hostages back. Once our leaders understand that that's what we want, they will actually do it.
Gil Dickman, the nation is with you and all the families of the hostages. We hope for good news about Carmel and all the hostages. Thank you so much for being with us on The Rundown. Thank you for your time.
Thank you. Good evening.